we have variable class, variable chapter where I'm going to discuss about how to declare variables, how to interact with the different types of information. So if you could see these software and hardware requirements for UiPath installation and UiPath usage, just coming back here, hardware requirements. Uh, you could see here, right? So for minimum, we require CPU 1.4 gigahertz 32-bit processor minimum. We require to use UiPath environment. So RAM we require 4 GB and the recommended for dual core 1.5 64-bit CPU processor as well. So these one software basic requirements. Okay, it is not highly required to install the UiPath information. Basic hardware requirements is enough. And come back to here. You could see software requirements here. The operating system it is starting from Windows 7.10 and up to 2016 supporting here. And so make sure that if we want to install UiPath Studio in your mission, so make sure that we need to first of all, because nowadays .NET framework is come up with Windows operating system. If it is not come up with Windows operating system, make sure that we need to install .NET framework. Minimum is 4.5.2. The recommended would be 4.6.1. So this is a basic software and hardware requirements to proceed our installation UiPath Studio or orchestrator in our local machine. The basic stuff. Now here, the variables are very important. So basically, right, why we need basically, can anyone talk about why we require variables? Basic question.
To store any variable, sorry, to store any value, okay, and we can use it.
Exactly. So basically, right, you can interact with any application. Let's say example, you are interacting with, what I'm trying to say, you interact with the employee management system or student management system. So make sure that we have to interact with different types of properties. Or let's say example, see here. So if you wanted to interact with your employee, basically we need these properties, right? So what is this? Employee number, employee name, salary, designation. So basically we need this type of, first of all, data properties or name of the, I mean to say that for, we can say simply variables. Okay. Here, right, if we want to store some values, I mean to say that the employee number is a variable, employee name is a variable, salary is a variable, designation. Because I just want to interact with this properties so that I can get the values somewhere or I can get push the values in somewhere. So variable is a thing, but I want to store some value in a particular. I mean, I want to store a particular value. I want to interact with the different types of data. How we all interact with different types of data in the system. So here, very simple. So I have a desired variable. So I have desired value here. And for identifying this value, so make sure that we have a different types of data types are available. This is the basic thing here. The data types is nothing but type of data. If it is integer, right, it's a numerical. Obviously, employee number will always accept the integer values. There are some cases it is come up with alphanumeric also. So by the time we can use the string. String is a data type here which is going to deal with collection of characters or collection of sentences, a collection of words which can store it into that. And employee salary, talk about employee salary, right, which is going to have some precision value here, like to the some point value, points so on so on. If you want to store this type of information, so UiPath has desired data type called double where we can store these values. Of course, designation is again is a string or alphanumeric, whatever it is. So if it is in numeric, I'm going to say if it is the characters, I can use a string where I can store a different type of data into that. So basically, this is where we require variable and data types. So make sure that when I talk about when you go for these two are essential. You just have an interact with the different types of data, different types of properties, different types of schema. So So obviously what will happen, you need variable and type. So how we are going to deal with variable and type in your computer, let us see in detail. So basically, right, variables are used to store multiple types of data. That means that we can store integer, we can store float, we can store character, we can store string type of information, we can store double type of information, even we can store datetime information to that. So we can store. So data stored within the value variable is called a value. That means that I'm declaring one variable. So I'm declaring a variable saying that symbol, and I'm just assigning some 100 to that. So it's nothing but the value of the variable. So Reaper supports different types of data types. So basically generic string, integer data table. So this is very important thing is here. Data table is a it's a very what I'm trying to say is one of the important data type in your UiPath Studio. So most probably you always play with the data table concepts. Uh, Along with that, we have a time and date and excuse me and double. We will talk in detail one by one. So these are best practices, naming best practices like it's a variable type. If it is generic variable, it should be prefixed with gen. If it is a text, it should be prefixed with integer. If it is a number, prefixed with integer. If it is true or false, that means a Boolean variable. So it is a Boolean operation or a Boolean data type. So make sure that it should be prefixed with bool. Set date and time. So if it is data time instance, you have to go ahead with the till or find data table is nothing but it should prefix with DAT or DT. Normally we are using DT, so we can use DT or DAT prefix if it is a data table variable. So why this is the best practice is nothing but, so by seeing the variable itself, I can able to understand this is this is like a generic, this is like a string, this is like an integer. So identification of the particular variable, I have to simply give the best part. I mean, there's a variable name like this. So this is very important. We have a variable panel available. Uh, Bala and Venkat, I think you are basically variables and all, right? I don't want to go in depth, correct?
Yeah,
Bala?
Venkat. Hello, Venkat.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah,
yes. Variable. Okay, we have knowledge.
yeah, okay. Because if you're new to this topic, if you tell me, so I'll go in detail and slowly also. Because it's a very basic stuff. I'm just bit practice here. Fine.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. So the variable panel, then if you're definitely talked about user interface. When I was discussing user interface, I just talked about this variable topic, right? Where this is a variable panel. So by default, so this is going to be like disabled, right? I can't able to declare any variable since select an activity to set a variable scope. So just simply click on here. So obviously what will happen, this is going to be enable mode. Basically there are 4 columns available here. One is name, variable type, scope, and default. So what is the name? Nothing but if you wanted to see declare the name of the variable and it is mandatory, else it will be small. We are not declaring any variable, so declare the default name of the variable. One
Mohan,
is true, so this is
sorry,
called, yeah.
voice voice is not clear, and also it is bit low.
It is audible now, knowing it?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
much better now.
Yeah, cool. Okay. So if you're not declaring, if you're not giving any name here, right, which is going to take the default name called variable one, like variable two, like this. So if you want to use, see, obviously we are going to deal with the different types of properties, so that I'm just going to give the name of this variable here. Let's say example, I'm just giving a name for str name. So this is the type of variable. What type of data which is going to deal with this str name? So let's say example, it is going to be string here, and this is a new concept here called scope. Like I'm just going to drag and sequence here. So I'm just
Morgan.
yeah, yeah, Bala.
Yeah. Again, your voice is very low. Actually, we are able to hear the voice not properly.
Is it audible? Fine. Now?
Yeah, now it is audible. While you speaking, the voice is going to get low. That's what the problem.
Yeah, maybe mine is Wi-Fi only, but I don't know
Yeah, that's also
what's
your
the issue on
level.
this case.
Okay, fine.
Man?
Yeah. Okay, fine. You can go ahead now. We are audible now.
Yeah. So, you're right.
Uh,
I'm just declaring. Hello?
Yes, yes.
Mohan, one doubt on this actually. Shall I start or you want to finish it? Or shall I
Yeah.
start? Yeah, you have select the scope of sequence, right? So it's based upon the controls, whatever we are using, right? Either a flowchart or sequence, or basically the scope will be only sequence of this.
Yeah. See, basically the scope. Okay, let me explain this scope first of all, then we'll discuss the clarification. Okay,
Okay, fine. Okay.
so that you will get some idea. Yeah. So basically, right, scope is very important in especially in UiPath Studio while declaring the variables. See, for time being, right. So what I have declared this is sequence. Okay, let me rename with this parent. Okay. Okay. This is a parent and child. Now I have two sequences. Okay. Now, if you could see here, right, it will be display like two things here, the parent and child. Okay, now I am declaring one variable 2, which is going to be bounced only within the sequence child. So now what will happen? Child can access parent and child information. When you go back here, right? See, so what will happen? Here, that is a different scope here. Here, whatever it is a scope, it is a sequence or flowchart. Okay, let's say example. Let me drag and drop flowchart also here. So one more variable, which is my okay. Let's default the flowchart.
Now,
Okay,
now voice clear. Now clear voices.
clear, right?
Yes, now clear.
Thank you so much. Now, if you could see here, right? Okay. Let's just maximize this. Understand here. Now I just clicked on outside, so obviously what will happen? There is no scope in this here. Okay, I'm just clicking on here, sequence 2. So sequence child, right, which is going to access parent. So what is the parent information, and variable 2 is part of sequence 2. So obviously what will happen, which is going to access. When you go back to the flowchart, right, flowchart is going to access this parent. Okay, so whoever the parents here, the child and parents are parents of this flowchart, right? So obviously what will happen, flowchart is going to access sequence child as well as sequence parent information along with its own content. That means that its own flowcharts variable. So this is how the scope would be looking like in UiPath Studio. So make sure that be careful when you're declaring any values in the child. So always try to just give it to the parent until or unless it is, if you are going to, if you're
Uh,
not using.
Morgan,
Yeah.
1 minute. I don't understand this. The whole path. Um, the scope, in the sense, you restrict the scope the scope of the variable you define, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So in the panel, you have created two sequence and one flowchart, and
Yeah.
parent sequence under which you have created one child,
Mhm.
and flowchart, does it come under child or under both parent and child, or a separate asset?
Yeah. See, this is a very simple. flowchart is coming under parent and child. See, flowchart is able to access parent information. See here, correct. So flowchart is
Okay.
accessing STR name is from the parent. See, I'm just pushing inside of this one. That's all. See, this one I have
Okay.
one sequence. Inside I have child sequence. Inside I have one flowchart. So the
Okay.
flowchart is part of this both. That means that right. This is inside of child, and as well as child is where instead of parent only, right?
Okay.
So it's very
Okay.
simple. If I am declaring one variable inside the flowchart, which is going to bounce to this only this flowchart.
Okay.
So that is what. Come back to child, right? I'm just clicking on the child. See, I'm not able to access the flowchart information because that variable is only bound to
That
this
is restricted.
sequence
That is
of
restricted in
flowchart.
flowchart. Okay.
Restricted flowchart. That's all.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
If I want to
So,
declare one variable that I should not access here, then see, then the scope should be so particular this flowchart. That's all. So when I declare a scope for flowchart instead of this one, like this, so this variable 3, right, I cannot able to access in child. See where I'm not using variable 3, right?
okay. So if one variable I defined as a scope of parent sequence, will that possible to use on all the subsequence and flowcharts that comes under the parent?
Now you see, right, in the parent, okay, I have one str name, okay.
Okay.
So this can be accessed. See here, the name is defaultly I'm just accessing str name. I'm able to accessing here, and str name I'm
Okay.
accessing both all the
Okay.
places I'm using.
Okay.
Clear, right?
Okay. Okay. So it is something like if you define something with the parent, it is defining as globally.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly right. It's a global and
Okay.
it is like a public and private like that.
Okay. 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 Got it.
Here it is a
Got it.
private variable. So what is a private variable here? Variable 3 is a private, which is going to
Flowchart,
bounce to
yes.
only this
Only the particular asset. Okay.
particular sequence or a flowchart. That's all.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Bala, do you have any queries, Bala? Here. Now over to you.
Yeah, I have queries. Actually, this is like access specifier, right? So, suppose a parent is there. We can create as a main class. Okay, and we are creating a variable like instead of another class called flowchart. So suppose if I want to access any variable, that is any object or variable in the parent class means we have to set the sequence as parent, right? So what about child? Whether we are able to access or we are not able to access?
Child can access. That is what I'm telling.
Child,
Okay.
child.
All the child.
Let me finish more. So whenever we are declaring the main class, that is the initial class, that is parent class means if the variable will be declared as a global variable, that's a public variable. And
Yes.
suppose if I selecting the scope as child means only the child can access, but the parent cannot be accessed, like protected or
Yes.
a protected variable.
Yes. Exactly.
Okay, so suppose I'm selecting sequence as flowchart, only it will be declared as a private variable. So instead of the class only we can access it. Right?
I'm sorry, Bala. Bala, can you please say it again?
Last thing is if suppose if we are declaring a sequence as that is sorry scope as a flowchart
Okay.
means only inside the particular class only it will be get accessible, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, fine.
That is what I have clearly told, right? In flowchart, if I declare any variable inside this, I'm able to access inside of this one only. But I can able to access the parent's information. See, flowchart is part of child is part of parent. So here flowchart can able to access the information on the flowchart as well as child as well as parent. See, if you could see here, right? And I click on the flowchart, I'm able to see all the information from top to bottom.
Okay,
Clear,
fine.
right, Bala? Yeah,
Yeah, I'm clear now.
good. Now,
So is there a way to define one variable in flowchart can be accessible
mhm.
on all the blocks, like declaring globally or declaring public?
Very simple. Yes. Then make it as a parent. That's all. Okay. Now
Okay.
this variable, I just scope got changed. Now go back to the parent. I'm able to access, see here, string variable 3. I'm able to access variable 3 here. Apart from variable 2 is part of only child, right?
Okay.
So this is the way. See, normally when I declare any variable, right, so make sure that we used to follow, I should be changing default to my parent, because entire sequence or a flowchart. That is the best
Okay.
practice.
Okay.
Fine. Let's move on to this. So this is called, what is this? Name is the mandatory, and variable type is also mandatory, and scope is also, you have to be defined. So default one. See, if you want to declare any values on the, let me just say that, like any default values, like a variable to is a string. So default value I want to assign like hello. Yes, I can able to assign the default value here. So this is nothing but this is not a mandatory, it is an optional field until unless you require default values to particular variable. Now we are pretty much good of the variable panel, and the first one is generic value variable. So generic is one of the data type, so which has been introduced in UiPath Studio, which is going to store different types of data like text. If I declare one variable called generic, which can accommodate, okay, so string type of information, integers, dates and arrays. Generic value variables are basically, it's automatically converted into text. So let us see one small demo here. So here I just created one project called, so variables demo. Fine. I'm just going to be create one new sequence here. So generic demo. If you add like this, right, what will happen? See, it is going to keep on happening to your project. Fine. Now, how to declare generic value? I'm declaring one variable here. Just click here. Let's say example gen str value. Here, right? If generic is not finding, what we are supposed to do, we have to click on the browse. So here, what is this? Browse for types. Here, generic. You just type generic here. You have to get it from uipath.code. So this is the generic value. So just click on OK. Obviously, what will happen? This variable type got changed to the generic. Now, very simple. Assign. Let's click on the assign. So what is the use of assign? Assign is one of the global activity where I'm going to assign some values to particular variable. Now, gen strval here, right? I'm just assigning string. How we are going to assign string value? By using double quotes. String value. Let's take example. I'm just giving the string value. I'm just printing by using log message.
Mohan, this value you can define in the variable part itself. In the down we have the variable. Here itself
Yeah,
we can
default.
define.
Here itself, like there itself, so you can define it. No issues.
Okay.
And if you want to display this value, okay, this is string. Fine. I'm just going here. String type. So fine. see here, obviously what will happen, log message which always going to accepts only string type of information, right? So generic is not required. Again, you see it is considering as string here. Okay, now let's simply assign one more value to this. So what is this? The generic str val. Here I'm defining like this. See, it is not showing any error because generic can accommodate any type of information. I'm just going to print here. So this is integer. Send them. Save this. So like this, you can able to pass any type of information. Like here I have passed. So what is this? So normally, right, if you declare any string variable which is not supposed to accept like this, which is going to throw an exception, right? So because this is a generic value which is going to be accommodate so any type of information. So internally what will happen, whatever the value you are assigning to this into this, internally it is converting to that. Okay, if I'm converting this string, obviously the generic value is converting the string here. If you are declaring any integer, obviously which is going to convert into integer. That is what the beauty of the generic variable. Click save this and quickly run it. Let us see what the output will get. You could see here, right? See here, string value. This is string type. String value is a string type of information. Integer nothing but what? 1, 2, 3, 4. I have printed. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. See, for one value, you're defining one variable. You're defining two values, right?
Yeah.
So the first one is some string you assign to the gen string val, and then some numeric value is assigned to that. So the one value will get overwritten on another value, one variable.
Yeah, overriding here. See, before overriding, I have printed the value here, right? See, first we have declared one value str generic. Here, this is a string type of information.
String
That have
value.
been
The
stored
value is
here.
variable. Okay.
Now I have printed here. I have printed on the screen output panel. So again, I have assigned integers. So what will happen is going to go override into the existing value.
Yeah, I got it. The message.
Again, I'm printing this value.
Yeah, in the message part, it looks some kind of syntax within double quotes, integer plus and then value. Is it the syntax or the message part?
For understanding purpose, I'm just adding some text. I'm prefixing some adding text itself. It is integer type of variable. This is a string type of variable. That's it.
Okay.
If you want any concatenation in the message box or if in the log message or write line or message box, this is how we have to be doing it.
Okay.
So normally, right, in C language, we used to write, right, the sum of two numbers within the double quote plus. Again, I'm just giving the variable name, comma, variable name I'm passing, right? Remember. So like this, I'm writing for understanding purpose. I'm writing here. I'm appending some value.
You have given plus gen string value, right, in the message box. So the plus will invoke the value of the variable. Does that mean you have given plus there?
No. Appending that's plus will not invoke here.
So the
Plus
is
like
not required.
appending. I'm appending to this value with my string here.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, Bala.
Bala,
tell me, Bala. I'm able to hear you.
Yeah, Venkat.
Yeah. Tell me, Bala.
Nothing like that. We are creating a variable means we are allocating a memory to it. Okay. So if we are creating a variable, we can use it in the program. Okay. So a variable A has been declared, and we have, if you want to assign the value means you have to normally anywhere you have to use equal to symbol only. So if your integer A equal to 5 means the 5 will be assigned to that particular variable. And if you want to show anywhere either in a message box or either anyway, and if you want to along with the test means we have to give the test name, print the value of A. colon or semicolon, anything you can given, and you can put a, like that only it will come up.
Okay, because in Unix, if you define one variable, and you want to get the value of the variable, you have to define dollar the prefix of the variable. So in that angle, I'm just thinking
No,
whether
no,
the plus is required in
no,
front
no,
of
no.
variable or not.
No. This is a concatenation. Concatenation
Okay,
operator.
okay,
That's all.
okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, right. It's very simple here. I'm just going home. I'm just deleting this. Okay. Now I'm just printing only value. Click save. Click run it. So what will happen? So which is going to display only value where I'm not getting. I'm appending anything here. String value is nothing but where it is coming from. It is coming from here.
From the
So this is the
variable.
string value.
Okay,
So it is not like
okay,
PHP. I think you are talking like in the dollar something PHP right
okay.
something. It is not like that. It's a concatenation. That's all. Concatenate is nothing but addition of two values. So how we have to addition of two values by using plus only? I have to use it here. Clear, Venkat?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, clear.
Yeah. So this is how your generic value is going to be behave here. And let's quickly go to string variable. The string is nothing but if you want to store like pieces of information like a collection of characters. If you want to store it, then I can able to use a string variable. So this can be stored names and password related information. Yes, if you want to store password related or name related information, I can able to use the string variable. String it should be declare any value to particular variable should be enclosed within the double quotes. That is what we have seen so far. Let's quickly create one more sequence here. Manga, do you have anything else?
No, no, okay. I'm okay.
Yeah. So I am declaring one string variable. Let us going to declare how we're going to be declare the string here. So str. So variable type is what? By default is come up with a string, right? So obviously string by default here they have only one sequence. So which is going to display only one sequence here. So if you want to give default value like okay UiPath, so what will happen? So I can able to print this value. So you can write line also you can able to print it. How I am going to print the value? Str name. That's all. Click save this and click OK. So obviously what will happen? Whatever they declare the value into that, which is going to print it here. Okay. So we have a string, lot of methods, string operations like substring. We have lot of methods are there. We have a split method, substring, starts with, end with, okay, to trim, okay, to lower, to upper. If you decide like this, so what will happen? So which is going to display into two uppercase. You should see here, right? Which is going to like this. So we have more a number of methods for string manipulation. So I think you can go through that. So we have a lot of methods out there. Okay. So index length. So if you want to display length of this string, I can able to use the length property here. So index join. So a lot of things are available. String manipulation. So when I'm doing with any string manipulations, so we have different types of method which is going to deal with the strings. So next one is right. It's a Boolean variable. Okay. So Boolean is nothing but what? So here, so which is going to take like either it is a true or false information into that. So where I can able to use a Boolean. So which contain only two possible values, or either true or false. So basically, it's true, which is going to always use for only decision making. So let us create one flow chart. Okay. So Boolean demo. Click create. Yep. Now here, right? How to declare a Boolean variable? Here I just want to declare Boolean variable. Bool is true. So Boolean is true. So this should be a Boolean. Here obviously we have a desired variable type called Boolean. So here what I'm trying to do here, so decision, drag and drop here. How we are going to pass the condition here? Here I'm just going to pass the condition. So condition here, bool is true. So here this assigns a value by default. So true. Simply I'm just so long message is the true part. Within this I'm just displaying this condition is true. And go back to previous. How we have to go back here is always showing the breadcrumb. We have to click on it and we have to go back and here condition is false. So very simple. This is how we have. So here we have to check. We can rename the rename also. We can check. So true. So we can rename it based on your condition. If you are anything you are validating, you can for reading by seeing the flowchart itself, I can able to understand your flow. So like this, if the condition is true, here I'm just getting some information. Condition is true. So obviously, what will happen? So it is going to be coming like this, or else if condition is false. So what will happen? If you just see, this is the true part, and this is the false part. Quickly save this and run it. Let us see what will happen. Condition is true because my variable I have declared and I have assigned the value is true. Let's take example. This should be a false. So how this negative case is going to be work here? If you say this and quickly run, we could see here false. So this is how your Boolean information is going to be worked in your UiPath Studio. Any queries here?
No. And can you please click the decision control?
Sorry?
Can you please click the decision control? I want to see the properties.
Okay. Yeah, right. Here the condition. Here I'm going to condition. Here you can write any type of condition like equals or something. So we'll discuss whenever discussing about looping control, right? Where we discuss how to declare that conditions and all. We'll see. Fine.
Okay. Okay.
So I think that's it for today, guys. We'll connect tomorrow morning 6 o'clock. Okay? I just want to. I'm Venkat. I discussed with the right. I just want to go somewhere.
Okay, Morgan. So you are going to discuss about remaining data types tomorrow, right?
Yeah. We have different types of data available. We have number, array, DateTime, and data table. So data table, because I have to discuss more examples here because it's very, very important. So I want to discuss more examples. So up here I'll be quickly complete it, and we'll discuss more on data table variables. Fine.
So Morgan, all the classes is from .NET framework is getting injected, I guess, right?
What, Bala?
No, all the data types Butterfly framework .NET is having 4.6 is getting inherited in UiPath, right?
Yeah, whatever the variables we are using in .NET, all the things we are using here. Because since it is a developer
So
in the
we
.NET,
so we can inherit any classes from the .NET framework, right? Whatever
yes.
namespace is
Any,
there, we can inherit and we
any,
can. Okay,
exactly
fine.
we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
what
fine.
version is UiPath is this?
Currently I'm using it 2018.1.
2018.1.
Yeah, 18 point. I'll tell you the exact number.
1.2, I
Yes,
guess.
2000.
Point
Point
one.
1.1. Yeah.
Okay, it is available in open, right? In Google, you can download and
Yes,
install, right?
yes. Yeah.
Any specific link you have where we can go and download it? Actual,
No, if you
we
go to
want this.
download, direct download link is available. You have to register, so they will send you one link to your personal, official mail ID. From there, you have to download. I think Bala downloaded, I think so. Yes.
Venkat, I will today I will bring it my pen drive. You can install it. No issues.
Okay
Or
then.
else you
Okay
can,
then.
Uh, 2 users, suppose 2 users install, right, at the same time, like trial version.
yes. We can install.
Okay,
No problem. With
okay,
respect to the system, that is device ID, that's all. You can install a number of devices.
okay, fine, okay.
Okay, guys, so that's it for today.
Mm,
Have a good day. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Venkat. Thank you.
Yeah.